Hello, all. This is Sue, and you are with Get Sold. And I wanted to make a little quick tribute video to Suzanne Somers. And I'll tell you why. She was very pivotal in my life for two reasons. The first one's going to sound really weird, but here goes. All right. So, as I've told you, or if you followed any of my videos or whatever, at 9 years old, I was exposed to porn. Okay, whatever. The reason I'm bringing up Suzanne Somers because she was one of the ones that I saw in a magazine when I was 9. But what stood out about her that was different than the other ones, she had a natural beauty to her. And I could tell the difference at 9, even though here's the thing when you're 9 and you're seeing this stuff, you don't know what's real and what isn't. Like when I first started seeing porn, it's like everybody was perfect. Like everybody was perfect. And at 9 years old, you don't know about makeup and lights and, removing imperfections. You don't know any of that. So you think, you got to be perfect. And some, let's face it, some women are pretty close to that. Some bodies, men too, are pretty close, and they work on themselves, or maybe they're naturally gifted. I don't know. But anyways, I remember when I saw Suzanne Somers, she didn't have the big round globular boobs like the others did. She had a beautiful essence, natural beauty about her, I guess I'd say. And that's kind of what struck me at 9 was that she was different. She was not all made up or whatever like the other ones I had seen. I didn't think anything of it then. I saw some male stars too that were in TV shows back then, whatever. And then, but I never knew, or I would have never guessed that when I got into my late 30s, early 40s, I was a mess. I gained a ton of weight. My adrenals were burnt out. I then got a thyroid condition, which was where the weight gain was coming from. I was on all kinds of meds because at that time they figured, oh, you're depressed, you're this, you're that. So they were throwing me on all kinds of big pharma meds. And I knew I was messed up, but I didn't exactly know how. Well, it was because of her and a book that she wrote about hormones that saved my ass. So thank you, Suzanne Somers. I owe you so much because you were the only one talking about hormones back then, like in a real way, because you had some issues. And because of you, I discovered that I was not making enough progesterone. Progesterone, I found out, is really important. We always hear about estrogen, we hear about testosterone, but we don't hear about progesterone. And I would have the worst PMS. I would have massive mood swings. So how could they really diagnose me properly if, I've got this other underlying condition that nobody knows how to help me with? But Suzanne Somers did. She went to the doctors. She went to the endocrinologist. She went to the ones who were studying hormones. It's like they didn't want us to know about this whole thing about hormones. Why? Because they're putting hormones in our food now, estrogens. So if we understand that part of our body, guess what? We'll go, wait a minute. What are you doing? Too much estrogen is feminizing. And fine, you're a female, whatever, that's it, whatever. But even too much estrogen in a woman causes cancer, et cetera, et cetera. And then I remember she would talk about Premerin, and that made me sick. That was like they were chaining horses up, making them, impregnating them, making them pee all day for Premerin. Another way the corporate elites could abuse animals for profit. And what did it do? It gave women cancer. So they're thinking they're doing hormone replacement. Think again. So then they couldn't use it. Years later, they couldn't use it for that anymore because women were getting cancer. So what did they do? They turned it into a vaginal cream. How about you just leave the fucking horses alone and we go to plants like Suzanne Somers had learned about, plant-based bioidenticals? Leave them alone. So anyways, getting back to Suzanne Somers. Um, her work in hormones made a huge dent in my life for the good. Because when I learned that I was only making, I think it was 72, I don't know what the thing is at the end, ppm or whatever, 72 when I should have been making 600. That was a clear deficit. So if I was being diagnosed with, we'll say like a personality disorder, and I did look that up in the DMS book, and a lot of it has to do with moods, uneven, emotional, da 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 da. Of course, that's, it's other things as well. But progesterone is freaking huge in the body. We need that. I needed that. I didn't make enough on my own. So I went to a clinic. I don't remember if it was in her book or not, but it was kind of a chain of clinics. And it was kind of expensive at first because there was no insurance back then. It was, I think, like 4,000 a year back then to have the testing done, to have the appointments done, to be given. At the time, I was on a cream. My poor brain, I always messed it up. You the first 1 to 11 days, you rub it on you. Then I had periods, and then after that, you take some more, and oh, did that mess with my head? Finally, they put me on the pills. But I'll tell you, if it weren't for her, like teaching women about hormones, we're still in the dark. Like I'll talk to women about hormone or progesterone. They're like, huh? They don't even know what it is because they don't want us to know. That's all I can come up with is it's one of the sciences of the body. They don't want us to know. I also found out, I think it was Medical Medium said this. I don't know for sure, so pardon me if I'm wrong. But if you're standing next to somebody with a bad thyroid and you have a good one, just being within a certain proximity, they'll talk to each other. Like, why do we not know any of this amazing stuff that our bodies do? Why? But anyways, that's another topic. But no, Suzanne Somers, I really, really want to thank you. And you gave me the courage because I began taking the bioidenticals, because I started seeing results. I had a little bit of a backbone now. And when I went to go see a male OBGYN office or whatever, it was creepy in there. Like they had some weird pictures on the walls and stuff. But either way, I went in and was getting ready for the exam or whatever. And the guy walks in, young guy. And so he's asking about my history, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I've always suffered from, lack of progesterone, and it made life difficult. It made, all the female junk. And he dissed me so bad. And he said, oh, that's quackery, and oh, that's toxic, and what are you taking that stuff for? Holy crap. I stood up and I said, you don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. How could you? And I said, we're done here. And I never did that before. Oh, authority, oh, like as it is, I have my issues with some men in authority. So I was trying to give this a new chance. I was trying to be like, okay, that was in the past. Let's release this. But whenever he did that to me and he was belittling me because of what I learned through Suzanne Somers, and of course, she was right. They're just not conducive to it. The way the medical industry, and of course, I know we're all finding out about this now. Anyways, I'm sure maybe you've heard about the Rockefeller medicine and all that, and why herbal medicine, natural medicine became taboo, because it hurt the elites' profit. And not just that, but they could use the petroleum in the medicines. But that's a whole other thing. You got to find out about that for yourself. I'm not trying to spread any bad juju here. It's already out there. But you'll understand why we aren't taught about these things. Look, your health is everything, right? If you're having a bad day, you can't get out of bed, your prospects for paying your bills get a little less and less. So we need to take our power back. And Suzanne Somers, you represent that to me, for me. Even when I first saw you at 9 years old, you were different than the rest. You were very naturally beautiful. No enhancements, that's all I can say. But thank you for then later helping me. You are a treasure, always will be, and thank you. So I can't find the book right now. I think it's either up in my attic or in another location, my other location. But the book I have is Ageless by Suzanne Somers, and amazing info. The other person I might as well throw out right there is Dr. Christiane Northrup. After Suzanne Somers, I found her book on like menopause and stuff like that. She deals with a lot of important stuff, women issue stuff. And of course, there's another subject too, but I probably won't say the word. She talks a lot about that, information on that too. So, all right. Love you. Women out there, if you have you suspect stuff with your hormones, find out about it. Learn about it, because I'm telling you, it changed my disposition incredibly. It didn't solve all my problems, but it solved a very big one as to me not making enough of what my body needed. Hello. It's like, at least if you can start there and fill in the gaps, then you have a chance of fixing the rest of the stuff. It'd be a long time before I finally healed my thyroid and all that stuff. Only within the last 3 years, but I was doing a lot before then. So, natural healing takes a little bit longer, but once you start, your body responds. Your body knows what to do with it. So, it starts here first. So I love you all. Thank you, Suzanne Somers. I will never forget you. And someday I'll see you back up there on the other side if you haven't come back down in the meantime. But thank you for all the work that you did for women. Thank you. And I hope if any guys are watching out there, tell your women if you think they're, I don't want to put any shame, blame, or anything on anybody. But if you know a woman who may be struggling mood-wise or anything, and you think it might be helpful, why not tell them about Suzanne Somers' book, or even Dr. Christiane Northrup. And I tell you this, I hated being a bitch, because every time I'd have a mood swing and I'd lash out at somebody, I'd cry. I'd be like, oh my God, what the F is wrong with me? Why do I have to be this way? I don't want to be this way. This is not what my heart is. And I just started staying away from people. Like, pretty much I had one good week a month when I started, the menses process. 1 week. That was it, before the progesterone was corrected. And I was horrible to live with. Horrible. Like, just screaming at everything. It felt so ugly inside, so ugly. I didn't want to be that person, and I didn't understand why I was that person. So Suzanne Somers, thank you. And I'm sure my family thanks you too. A lot. All right, I'm out. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Please let me know if there's topics you want to discuss. I got a whole bunch, but I'm just starting to test the waters now. It is phase 2. I'll get sold with new topics. Yeah, I'm still going to be going through stuff, but I took my power back, man. I have to. So hope you do the same if you're in similar predicament. We got this. Even with the world, we got this.